Tonight, Spanish football television crossed a line that will be talked about for days after Josep Pedrerol, the iron-fisted host of El Chiringuito, blasted a colleague mid-debate and openly threatened to fire him for defending Vinicius Jr. A routine post-match argument segment quickly detonated when the discussion about a heated moment between Vinicius and Levante's Elzebal turned from match analysis into a personal confrontation. Jorge D'Alessandro, an outspoken panelist and former coach, called out Elzebal's actions and defended Vinicius in blunt terms, and Pedrerol snapped. What followed was uncomfortable and raw television. Pedrerol interrupted, demanded a public retraction, and warned that he did not want to be dismissing another person this week. A thinly veiled reminder of an earlier sacking on the same show, effectively putting D'Alessandro on the spot and threatening his place on the panel. The moment was not just a spat between two talk show figures. It exposed a brittle ecosystem where criticism of some players is tolerated while support for others can provoke hostility, especially in a program that already has a fraught relationship with Vinicius. The host's insistence on an apology and his subsequent claim of apologizing to Elzebal on behalf of the show left the panel divided and social media alight, with fans and pundits asking whether a debate program should be policing opinion or amplifying it. People wondered if the threat to sack D'Alessandro was theatre or genuine. Either way, it marked an escalation in how sports media treats sensitive on-field incidents, and it forced viewers to ask who gets the last word when feelings run high on live television. In the background of all this is the player at the centre of the storm, Vinicius, who has had a contentious relationship with parts of Spain's media for some time. According to reports, he has even stopped speaking to El Chiringuito, and the show's intense scrutiny of him now intersects with real questions about his status at Real Madrid, contract talks, and whether public pressure could influence the club's stance. The argument on air felt like a microcosm of a broader debate. Is criticism of Elzebal's challenge legitimate analysis, or was D'Alessandro defending a player who many in the studio had already made up their minds about? Viewers heard words like coward and saw Pedrerol recoil, demanding civility and threatening consequences. The clash became less about tactics on the pitch and more about reputation, respect, and the boundaries of acceptable commentary. Reactions online multiplied immediately. Supporters of Vinicius praised D'Alessandro's defense and blasted Pedrerol for what they called heavy-handed control of the narrative, while critics argued the host was right to call out incendiary language and protect the show's image. The split reaction only deepened the story's reach. Clips of the exchange are being shared across platforms, pundits are lining up to weigh in, and the incident has become another headline in the ongoing saga around one of Real Madrid's most talked about players. Importantly, this is not isolated TV gossip. It has implications. If a leading pundit publicly fears losing his job for defending a player, other commentators may self-censor, which affects the tone of sports conversation in Spain and beyond. For Vinicius, who already navigates questions about form, role, and contract negotiations, the spectacle adds another layer of pressure and public scrutiny. For El Chiringuito, the incident risks accusations of bias and could force the program to decide whether to rein in its host or to double down on the kind of confrontational television that made it a must-watch, and that decision will shape how fans, clubs, and players engage with the media for weeks to come. Keep an eye on the reactions from Real Madrid, from Vinicius himself, and from the show's directors. Tonight's confrontation may seem like a single live blow-up, but its echoes will test relationships, reputations, and the limits of heated sports debate.